Okay.
Hey y'all. So we are live. So
Hi, everybody.
I'm going to share this out. So just guys, give me a few minutes to get this shared out and we're going to get started. All right.
Oh, you know what? Let me turn my ringer off.
Okay. Okay. So here we are. Everyone knows my name is Amber Williams and I am I help essentially my clients to incorporate self-care into their everyday routine. I also have essentially a product-based business, which is Sense Exchange, where we essentially provide the products for our clients to help incorporate into their everyday routine as well. So today we're actually going to be talking about highlighting our Black History collection, which today we're going to be highlighting the Black Wisdom candle of our Black History collection. So we have it right here, our Black Wisdom candle. So I'm going to go ahead and light this so we can start getting the aroma of it and get it going with Miss Dr. Marsha. So I have mine here. And I'm just going to set it down so we can get to talking about Black wisdom here today.
Yes.
So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, Dr. Marsha.
Sure. I'm Dr. Marsha. I am the creator and the founder of Bookworm Investment Club. And it's where we teach women how to invest in the stock market and how to build a profitable stock portfolio. And we do that. We teach long-term investing. So it's a buy and hold approach where you analyze stocks and you buy quality stocks and you hold them and let them make you money.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So just kind of want to speak to if you're watching on a replay here, just make sure that you are commenting #replay. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We would love to know exactly where you're tuning in from. So if it's, Chicago or Kansas, wherever you're tuning in from, let us know where you're tuning in from. And again, just we're going to be talking about Black wisdom, highlighting our Black History collection. I have mine lit here. So we just gonna go ahead and dive right into it because I know Dr. Marsha got some things to go. So you're a very busy woman, so we're gonna dive right into it. So,
Yes.
so far as a Black wisdom, of course we've seen a lot of this. Myself and others seen a lot of this in 2020, and essentially 2020 been also like a wake up call for a lot of us. With the things happening in 2020. So can you define to us what Black wisdom is and what does it mean to you?
Well, first of all, I have to tell you this. You made me think. Because when you asked me to talk about Black wisdom, I was like, what is she talking about? Black wisdom. Wisdom is wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. It goes much deeper than that. So I really had to sit back and think, is there really a such thing as Black wisdom? And the answer is yes, there is. So when I talk about wisdom, when I think about wisdom, and I'm going to take like a triangle or a pyramid approach and talk about wisdom just in general first. And how I think about wisdom, I think about it as a gift. And it is a gift of knowledge. It's a gift of understanding. And that gift is from God or whoever you define as your higher power. So that's just in general what wisdom, how I define wisdom. But we're going to go a little deeper because you asked me to.
I did. I
You did.
did.
And we're going to define what Black wisdom is.
Mhm.
So we take that gift that is freely given to us in the form of knowledge and understanding, and
Mhm.
had to look at it and say, is there such thing? Is it special? And the answer to us is yes. It serves Black Americans. And when I say Black Americans, I mean
Mhm.
Black people in America, not before we were brought here,
Mhm.
but it serves us in a very special way that has been passed down from generations that started here in America, Black Americans in America,
Mhm.
from generation to generation to generation. And it starts off, of course, of lessons of love
Mhm.
and lessons of goodness towards, being good to each other, loving each other, being patient with each other. But in addition to that, Amber, it also involves serving us in a very special way, in that it that wisdom prepared us to endure and
Mhm.
endure the struggles that we have endured from generations even up until now.
Mhm.
It has prepared us to uh, survive,
Mhm.
survive despite all of the hardships, and it prepared us to persevere. It has prepared us to stay hopeful,
Mhm.
and it has prepared us to stay faithful. So yeah, there's a special Black wisdom,
Mhm.
and it's done that for us through generations.
Mhm. I love that. I love how you how you broke that down. Just because, like, when you think about wisdom, like, people when they say wisdom, they just honestly just think, like you said before, like, when you think about wisdom, you think about knowledge. But when you really break it down and break it down into that what Black wisdom really is,
Mhm.
that's so good.
Yeah, and it was important to our Black community
Mhm.
because we're still here.
Yeah, we are.
Despite everything, we are still here, and we are not going anywhere.
No
We
time
ain't
soon.
going nowhere.
No time soon. No,
And not,
no soon.
yeah, and not only that, but we continue to move forward,
Mhm. Yep.
getting better and better and better. Even in times like this,
Mhm.
we're still going. So
Yeah.
if it wasn't for that wisdom, we as a people would have been crushed,
Mhm.
destroyed, no longer here.
Mhm.
So that's what you made me think about. Sit back and think. I'm like, yeah, there's Black wisdom.
Mhm. Yep.
Wisdom, especially for us as a people.
Exactly, and essentially yeah, you're right. Yep.
Mhm.
So just kind of, as we was talking about, as you know, in the Black community, how would you how would you think wisdom affects the Black community?
Just like I said, we're still here.
Mhm.
We're not going anywhere. We're not. We're here to stay. You will not be able to get rid of us because
Mhm.
of that wisdom and knowledge and understanding that has prepared us to continue to be here.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
And I think that's real good too because as we talk about, like, Black wisdom and, you know, tying it to self-care and what we do as a Black community, and essentially it's essentially starts off with, like, what we believe in, um,
Mhm.
and then also kind of, you know, our feeling, um, as a whole in the Black community as well, because we've been through a lot, and it's not just in 2020. You know, this is going on from years ago, you know? So it's not just what happened in 2020, it's just essentially that kinda woke a lot of people up, you know, essentially
Mhm.
woke, you know, a lot of people say woke. Um, so I think that's real good. Um,
Mhm.
and I would say too, um, for you, like as a Black woman who's very, very knowledgeable in stocks, I believe right now you're living off your portfolio, right?
Mhm. There's a
That's
story behind it. You want me to tell that?
exactly. So you're living off your portfolio, and then so you're very knowledgeable about stocks. And like, what information would you give the Black community regarding the stock market and also building a lifestyle with it?
Okay, first of all, there's not enough of us in the stock market.
Hmm.
That's first and foremost. But there are reasons behind that. And
Hmm.
it does tie in with that wisdom, that Black wisdom. Um, Let me get my statistics because you know we like data.
Yes, 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 ma'am.
And first of all, let me encourage not only uh, your listeners but also mine. I would encourage everyone to Google Black people in the stock market. There's some interesting information out there. I'm going to show you a couple of things or tell you a couple of things that I learned.
Mhm,
And it's kind of disheartening,
mhm,
but at the same time, I see hope.
mhm,
And what I know that we didn't have a lot of people investing in the stock market,
mhm,
but there was some research that was done. And back in 2019, what they found was only 33% of Black households own stocks.
mm.
Sit back and
I
30,
know, I see what you said.
33% as compared to 61% of
Mhm,
white household owned stocks. So we clearly are not invested in the
mm,
stock market,
mhm,
especially when it comes to investing in individual stocks. Now, there's reasons. There's reasons. And historically, it kind of goes back from generations
mhm,
in that what they found was Black investors prefer to keep their money in safer places,
mm,
like savings accounts,
mhm,
where they can open up. Well, they don't have them now, but back a long time ago, we used to have the savings books where you go to the bank and you put your money in your savings account and they stamp the book and
mhm,
you'll be able to see what you have. So the preference is to be able to touch their money
mhm.
because there's so much mistrust
Mhm.
out there.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's that mistrust.
Mhm,
It's the fact that um, our Black people have lower incomes.
mhm,
And so there's less money out there to invest, especially after you've paid your bills,
mhm,
after you put a little bit away in savings. You may not have that money to invest.
mhm,
Um, the jobs there, we work in jobs where some of them don't even offer 401ks.
mhm. That's true.
And on Wednesday nights, I do an investor chat,
Mhm,
and we had one last night, and we were talking about the steps that before you even start to invest, some of the things you need to have in place. And I had one young lady that told me, she said, I work in the healthcare field, but I don't have a 401k. They don't even offer us 401ks
in the healthcare field?
in the healthcare field.
Oh,
And I was kind of stunned, but
right.
not surprised. And
That
so it's like, okay, so what do I do? So we had to talk about it.
Mhm,
But yeah, that's one of the reasons why we aren't invested in the stock market also. And even there were research that showed even wealthier uh, Black households
mhm,
were less likely to own stocks. The preference would be to own bonds and life insurance
mhm,
rather than be in the stock market,
mhm,
which is surprising, but true. Um, and so, with all this in mind, ultimately, you don't have that passing down of the knowledge of investing from
Mhm.
one generation to the next.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I found. We
Mhm.
are not invested. But Amber, I am encouraged because I see the changes that are taking place, especially from when I started investing.
Mhm.
And that was way back in the 1990s that I started investing. I
Mhm.
see now the younger generation participating more in investing, especially since Robinhood has come out. So
Mhm.
they introduced the millennials to investing. So they're much more active in investing. There is more interest in trading
Mhm.
stocks, and that's good too. That's another way to make money in the stock market. You don't
Mhm.
have to do the long-term investing. You can do the short-term investing with trading. And so I see. I would like to see more people introduce or expose their children to the
So
stock market because their brains,
mhm.
they soak up stuff
Yeah, they do.
real
They do.
fast. And even if it's just, on driving with your kids, you can say,
Mhm.
talk about McDonald's, and you know what, you can actually own some of that company.
Mhm.
Because that's what I did with my kids when they were younger.
That's good.
Play a game. I remember my youngest son, we were talking about stocks.
Mhm.
And this was when he was about 4 or 5 years old. And he said, Mommy, we need to buy some Walgreens stock.
Oh.
And I said, really? He said, yeah, there's one on every corner.
He's watching, watching.
Yeah,
And
just
kids are
start.
very observant.
Yeah, just start talking to your kids about owning that business over there, owning a
Mhm.
piece of it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged that I've seen this change. I've
Mhm.
seen women become more involved in the stock market, which is
Mhm.
good.
Yep.
So, but still, not enough of us are buying stocks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of relates back to kind of what I said before is essentially what we believe in, like our belief system, just tying it as a whole to self-care because like you said before, before they just wanted to do like bonds or it's not really talked about in the Black community or in the Black household
Mhm.
because, they're either not knowledgeable of it. So it's essentially what they're believing in far as, the way that they grew up and what was talked about in their household
Yes.
as a whole. So
Yes.
that's why it's so important, like to know that it's, essentially what you do trickles down to your kids. Like
Mhm.
every little thing, they are very, like you said, they are sponges. They soak up everything. And,
Mhm.
talking about that with them, like, why is it so important to invest in the stock market? If you spend all this money at McDonald's, invest in it.
Own some McDonald's.
Exactly, get to own some exactly, exactly. So I think that is where we kind of lack in the Black community when it comes to knowledge and essentially what we believe in because we don't take that time to talk to our kids about that information, so it doesn't trickle down like it should
Mhm.
versus in other communities.
Right.
Um, so I think, as a whole, as a Black community, we really need to focus more on um, that kind of Black wisdom piece of it and that knowledgeable piece and help trickling that down. I know a lot of us, like you said, millennials, kind of changing the generational cycle of a lot of
Mhm.
different things because it's like, well, we know it's possible. We educate ourselves, and if we just, put our mind to it, we can do it. A lot of and that ties back to essentially self-care too, because it's like we're not gonna allow someone essentially we get talked about in a bad way, but we're not gonna allow someone to either, kind of, disrespect us or, essentially about different things as a whole. And I think that's so good because it ties back to we want to trickle those things down to our kids, you know,
Mhm.
that knowledge that they are owed to that we may not or didn't get as growing up. So I think that is so good.
Right, because we want better for our children.
Yes,
And
yes.
that's the way, my parents wanted better for us.
Mm-hmm.
I want better for my children.
Right.
Not only that, but any future generation that's coming through my line,
Yes.
I want better
Yes.
for them.
And you want to
So,
be able to teach them. We want them to be able to be taught that information. So you
mhm,
have to start it,
you have to start
I think,
it. And it's okay to talk about money.
yes.
It's okay.
It is.
Money is good.
Mhm.
Money makes your life a lot more comfortable.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
and you should have it,
Yes.
period.
Mhm.
And this is just,
Build that generational wealth.
yes. And this is one way to have your money make money. And that is investing in the stock market. And you
Mhm.
should do it, even if you have to educate yourself.
Mhm.
And even if you do, especially if you have the funds
Mhm.
to invest, don't be fearful of investing. Find a coach, find a mentor that's willing to teach you if you lack the knowledge.
Mhm.
Because YouTube University,
Okay, Dr. Marsha.
Google machine, come see me. We can walk down that path
Mhm.
because I know that it's important. I
It is.
know that I have a gift to give.
Mhm.
And as long as God keeps me on this earth and I'm of sound mind,
Mhm.
I'm going to teach.
Yeah.
I'm going to
That's
teach women how to invest, how to build their wealth in the stock market.
okay, Dr. Marsha. And while we're just kind of want to reset the live and the tone, so we are discussing Black wisdom. It highlights Sense Exchange Black History collection. So I have mine lit here, but just to kind of show you all, this is a Black Wisdom candle. It's a part of the Black History collection that we have. So you can go on and make sure you purchase yours so you can enjoy this aroma as well. And we're talking with Dr. Marsha just about Black wisdom, what it means to her, and also how building that into the Black community, as she's very knowledgeable in the stock market. So just helping us all around in the Black community and that information that we may or may not know a lot about. So Dr. Marsha, if you want to tell um, everyone kind of how they can either essentially get in contact with you or work with you in the future.
Sure, sure. We can start by going to the website. It's
Mhm.
Bookworm Investment Club. It's all one word. .com, and you can get more information about me and some of the programs that we have. And if there, you can sign up for a consultation call with me, so we can see how we can help you build your profitable stock portfolio. We have an investment club. We have a program that you can work with me personally,
Mhm.
and all to get you started investing.
Good.
Mhm.
All right. Well, as you guys know, Dr. Marsha, she, told you how to get in contact with you all, and she is very invested in getting us women, Black women, started in the stock market. I need to contact Dr. Marsha. I've been telling her for the longest since I've known her. Like, I need to get invested,
Mhm.
so I can learn more about it as well. So just, myself, and like you said, it's something that can make money for you while you're not essentially doing anything but investing.
Mhm.
So that is kind of, I don't see any comments as of right now in the chat, but if you guys are on a replay and you have any comments, make sure that you let us know in the comments. And if we need to get, whether it's to me or Dr. Marsha, I will make sure those get to her so she can answer those questions for you. But again, just to kind of reset, we are talking about the Black Wisdom, highlighting the Black Wisdom candle in Sense Exchange Black History Collection. And yeah, so you guys can go to our site, which is www.senseexchange.com, to purchase your Black History collection, which includes the Black Wisdom candle as well. And what we have coming up next, we next week we actually going to be talking about the Black Love candle.
Ah,
So You don't want
Isn't
to
it love?
exactly. We're gonna be talking about Black love, and of course, you know, Valentine's Day is on Sunday, so we're gonna be talking about Black love next Thursday at 6 p.m. We have special guests waiting for you for next week. I'm not going to announce who it is right now, but you are not gonna want to miss it. I promise you're not gonna want to miss this powerful couple that works together and just being able to talk about and discuss Black love as a whole. So again, make sure you get that. You can also purchase your candle so you can be join it like I am here today, next week with about the Black love. Let me not mess something up here. But Dr. Marsha, you have any final words before we wrap up here?
Yes. Start investing. Period. That's it.
Period.
Start
Okay.
getting those starting and buying your individual stocks.
Mm-hmm.
Start building a stock portfolio, because the key is you want to be able to make that portfolio your paycheck at some point in your life.
And essentially kind of I don't want to tell your backstory, but essentially just because at some point you may not even know when you may need it. And when it may become like living off of your portfolio.
Mm-hmm. Might be unexpected. So we need to be prepared.
Yeah, exactly. You know, God let things happen in mysterious ways. You don't know why, but you always want to be prepared for that.
Yes.
So I just really want to thank you, Dr. Marsha, for joining me today. I know you have to go. You're a very busy woman.
Our investment club is tonight. Yes.
So you guys want to join Dr. Marsha for her investment club. But thank you for being here tonight with me and discussing Black wisdom. I really, really appreciate the nuggets that you dropped today. So again, if you guys want to contact with Dr. Marsha, you can reach her at Bookworm Investment Club. .com, and she also has an Instagram and Facebook page as well.
Yes. And thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. And thank you for stimulating my brain about Black wisdom, because it does exist.
All right, you guys, we are, I guess, as far as me, you'll see me next week on Thursday at 6 p.m. talking about Black love. See you guys later. Bye now.
Bye-bye.